Hello. Hello, hello, hello. Hi, everybody. Oh, hi, Joanne. It's actually Naomi tonight. I thought I would pop on and do a surprise live. So, welcome. I'll just give it a few minutes. Pop on, say hello if you're watching. And I thought I'll spread out some of these tags I've done. Hi, Joanne. It's a bit hard to tell who's who when it's only our hands on screen, isn't it? So, hello, Susan. How are you, lovely? Yeah, so I've been planning of going live tonight, but I wasn't sure that I was going to get there. We were at a friend's house and we were late getting home, so I wasn't quite sure I was going to get on tonight, so that's why I didn't want to promise anything. So, surprise, here I am. And I've just found that I've got a dirty sponge. Is anyone crafting tonight, having a Saturday night crafting night? Yes, no. So, oh, yes, Nat's class was this afternoon. That's right. That looked like super fun. So I have been playing with the new cuttables and doing some cool things. So I thought I might, and I'll show you my tags I've been doing. So I thought I might jump on and do some creating with the new stuff. Now let me just find, I did 2 pages. There we go. I wanted to make these coordinating. So you've probably seen the little video I've done of this one. And this one's similar, but a little bit different. And I've got a video for that, which should have gone onto my YouTube channel already tonight. And then I'll pop up the post up of these. But these guys, like, come on. They are super cute. So I thought I would play with some on my tags tonight. So I have done a little bit of cutting out already. So I've got the grandpas and I've got this guy, and he's going to be a pretty good size for my tags. So I've already fussy cut him, but seriously, I reckon I could do a whole tag book with these guys. Like, look at the colors of them. And I love the scootering guy. Love it. So, yes, and I have also got out these are the words, then I can't remember what she called them. The new cuttables, and it's they're they're sarcastic ones. That's what they are. I can't remember what they're called. So, all right. So is anybody having a little crafty night tonight? I know a few of you may have had Nat. So let's have a look at these tags. I decided I was going to do, actually Tegan, I see you're watching. Tegan's been doing some tags with the lovely Claire. So I thought I'm going to get back in and do some tags, and use up some of the stuff I've got and use some new stencils and stamps and just put some things together, and it works with some different colors. So I'm going to make these into a tag book. So that one's a recent one. This is one I did on a live while Nat was in Germany, using the little All and Create girls. This one I did. This is some of that paper artsy tissue paper. I might use some of that tonight too. I love that. And this is Nat's new stencil with some quotes there. I need to stick some of these quotes down. And using some different colours in the background. This one's another paper artsy stamp. And I think I just had some leftover collage paper, just making little bits and using little things and trying to use up leftovers that I had. So this was some of the cuttables that Nat had, and I thought he looked pretty cool. And that's some more of that tissue paper from Paper Artsy, Seth Apters. And again, here's that new Dina Wakley tile something. Bit of my Art by Marlene Doobie Lacquer, the die cuts book, which is never ending. And then there's another one I did that was those cute little paper All and Create fruit guys. Now I know they are on the super clearance, so I think they're 30% off, and there's heaps of them. So they are super cute. All right, so let's have a little play with some tags. Now, if you have tag dies, that's wonderful. I have one from, where do I have one from? Studio Light. I have a Studio Light tag, but this is one of Nat's tag sets. And you get a whole heap of them. I don't even know how many there is, but like super cheap. And they're all the same size and they're already set to go. So I often always just pop one onto my order. Now let's have a look at what, I thought I might use this stencil. I haven't used this one for a while. I think this is a loop-de-loop stencil. So I might have a play with that. What else might I have a play with? Where's some of the other new stuff? Might have a go with, that's Claire's Reach for the Stars stencil, which I used. What else have I got? What else have I got just lying around that I can play with? Oh, might use a bit of that actually. That's lying around. I really have to clean my craft room this weekend because I'm getting new wardrobes put in. So I really actually have to clean up. I can't. Oh, and I've got a little bit of this. That's a bit of Claire's collage paper. What else have I got a little bit of? Oh, here, there's a little bit of that too. So that's the Flower Fields collage paper from the last release. Who have we got that said hello? Hello, Karen. Welcome, lovely. Hi, everybody that's joined. I am doing a sneaky little live. You didn't miss the announcement. I had planned to go live, but I wasn't sure I'd make it because we were out. So the little one's in bed and I can get creative while the big boys are watching the football. So let's have a play with some tags. So I'm going to use tonight, I might use some Dilutions paints. So let's go with, now this guy, I want him to stand out. So for the backgrounds of this one, I'm going to use some bright colours and warm colours so that he stands out in his cool outfit. So let's go with, what have we got? So let's go with some yellows and orange and pinks maybe. All right, let's go Pure Sunshine. Oh, maybe I could do some fluoros. All right, let's do some fluoros. Changing that. All right, let's go with Mango Punch. And I don't use fluoros very often, but since Nat did use fluoros the other day, I thought, you know, let's give it a crack. Strawberry Daiquiri, Tropical Sangria. Oh, I have 2 strawberry daiquiris. And oh, I might just use a bit of, I don't have a neon yellow, but in that brand, but I do have a neon yellow in the Art by Marlene. So let's grab out Marlene's neons and see what we're going to do there. And then this one's going to go, I think this one might go on this side. So I might use some blues on that side. So let's start with one and see how we go. All right. Has anyone been up to anything exciting this weekend? Super exciting. Well, what have you been up to? Talk to me, girls. And while I'm here, so I'm just going to grab these Art by Marlene ones, the Wow, And you know what? I might grab the punk. All right, so there's no reason you can't mix and match your colours. Now, I actually might... Am I going to gesso? What am I going to do with this one? This is what I want this one for. So, yes, I'm going to gesso. All right, I'm going to get some white gesso out quickly. And the reason I'm going to gesso, I don't always gesso my tags, but I want to put the black with the neons over that. So we're going to do a bit of that ghosting technique. And you do have to excuse me because I totally wasn't prepared. I rushed home and noticed that oops, that was a boo-boo. I just put gel medium on there. Went to the Sydney Zoo. Oh, that sounds exciting, Karen. How old's your youngest granddaughter? I'm just going to wipe that off because that's gel medium. I'm starting well. Oh, what did I miss? I don't do neons or brights or neons, so the retreat should be interesting. Oh, Karen, yes, you'll definitely learn. Especially watching me and definitely Tammy. Yes, we kind of have the same palette that we follow, as well as Claire and Nat and a few others. I'm learning, Karen, with the vintage. It's not my comfort zone. Alice is 4 going on 40. Oh yeah, I have a 4 going on 40 too. Actually, my little one is turning 5 next week, so he just said, "Mummy, how many more sleeps till my birthday?" So yes, he is the same age. They're very knowing, aren't they, 4-year-olds? But the zoo would have been fantastic there. They're right at the right age for the zoo. All right, so I'm going to gesso just one of my tags, and I'll pop that one aside and work on the other one while that one's drying. I'm going to try not to use my heat gun too much. All right, so this one, now I'm going to use some Paper Artsy paints. I have recently purchased myself a whole heap of Paper Artsy paints. And I'm going to go in the blue and green tones with this one, just to keep with this. And I'm going to go with, oh God, Cloud 9 is the white. I don't even know how to pronounce that one. Nah, not even going to pronounce that one. Waterfall and Lake Wakanda. It's a great age. There was a Bluey show at the zoo. Oh, yes. We all love Bluey in our house. All right, so I'm just going to rip a bit of this off. I'm not a big flowery person, but I found I've nearly used a whole page of this. And I've really used it a lot for backgrounds. So now that I've put the gel medium away, I will pop that back over there. So those going to the retreat, are you getting excited? I certainly am. And my biggest decision to make, and Tammy may have already made it for me, is which brand of paint do I take with me? Do I take my Dilutions? I like to only take one brand with me so that I can limit myself. Otherwise, I want to bring them all. But I think it might be my Art by Marlene's because we've got Tammy's classes to do. So that may have helped me with my decision. All right, so I'm just putting some gel medium down here Making sure I get it all out there. And this is a terrible brush. Oh, wait, it's a Kazaz brush, so it's clearly old, because Kazaz haven't been around for a while now, and I certainly haven't been part of Kazaz for a while. All right. So just sealing that. And I'll pop that one aside and find my gessoed one, which is right here. Alrighty. Now what I might do with, need some paper towel. I haven't even started my ATCs for this month yet. I should have done that with you guys. All right, I might start them. We'll see how we go for time. Okay, so this is my neons. So my neons, I'm just going to get dirty with my fingers. And you got all the colours for the classes. It turned into a 12-day road trip, which is not good for this non-traveller. Oh, yes, you do. Susan, you do have a Japan trip in between, don't you? That's super exciting. We've just decided we're going on, we're thinking about going to Japan in a few years, which will be nice. Karen, it will go really quickly. You'll feel like, especially at the retreat, you know, you feel like you just sat down and it's Sunday already. You'll have a great time. This is my second year, and I told my husband. So it turns out that the same time of year that Nat has her retreat is the same time of year that the NRL have decided that that's going to be the Magic Round, which my son wants to get to one year. So I said next year to my mum, can you babysit the little one? Because I'm going on retreat and the big boys want to go to Magic Round. So we will see how we go. Now I'm just using my finger because this is my underlay. And these neons, I don't use neons very much. So this is a little bit of a learning thing for me too. So as Nat did the other day, something you don't always do on screen. It's sometimes nice to show you how we try different things and have a go. Because you're not going to learn things until you have a go. You can watch someone do it all you want, but until you get in there and have a crack. I always say it's pretty safe if you stay with, you know, your warm palette or your cool palette when you're trying different things. You generally can't go too wrong. Now I'm just cleaning because I don't want it to get everywhere. But how cool are these colours? I probably need to get myself a new neon yellow in my dilutions. But as I said, I don't use them a lot. So I can probably get away with the fact that I've got the Art by Marlene ones. Oh, that's nice, isn't it? Now, I'm going to be super careful because although my yellow is pretty dry, I don't want to put that punk colour, which is a purple, right with my yellow. So I'm going to add my pink up there. Use my finger over here. All right. That's right, Susan. It's sacred. It's my go-to. And it's right at the beginning of football season for us. And now I've got both the boys playing football. So it's a little bit, we normally don't go anywhere in football season because it's just too hard to organise. But anyway, that is always happening now. It's locked in. Locked in. I'm not changing it. A little treat to myself. Need to get out of the house, away from the boys. All right, so that's pretty good. Let's switch back to the other tag. So that's my neon tag, and I'll move that to the side for now. Let that dry. I'll go back to this one, and that's pretty dry. I'm just going to trim that off. I know there's a few ladies who like to get to a couple of retreats a year, which is lovely. I'm not there yet. Maybe when life slows down a bit more, but while you got young kids, it just makes it a little bit harder. Alrighty, let's get my, this big Art by Marlene brush is in my water, so let's use that. All right, now these colors aren't exactly the same as these, but that's okay because I'm going to go over some of it. I really love the Paper Artsy paints, the chalkiness of some of them, and I've only just started using them, but I'm really loving them. So though that page that I showed you earlier and the one I shared yesterday with Nat's new people, I use Paper Artsy paints for those. So what I'm after with using this collage paper in the background is I don't necessarily want those colors, but if you can see here, I've still got the pattern of the flower underneath, and that's more what I'm going for. They're not exactly my colors and the colors I'm wanting to use. So, whoops. Sorry, girls. So I'm just going over them and using the colors that I want. Now I'll leave that bit there, and then, oh, I forgot which one I used. I think I'm up to Lake Wakanda. That reminds me of Black Panther, I think. All right. My boys are getting loud. I'm not sure what's going on in the lounge room, but they're being quite noisy. All right. So I think that's good for a bottom layer. Now what I'm just going to do, because we all know I love to make some splatters. Well, I've got this spare paint here. I'm going to just add some interest. Oops, better move my neon out the way or it's going to end up with blue splatters. Add some interest down here. And I have no idea where I'm going with this. I'm just kind of going with the flow for now. And that's kind of how, if you've created with me before or you've watched me, my classes are structured and thought out. But on my lives, I kind of like to go with the flow. So just kind of works a bit better for me, and it's how my brain goes. All right, popping that one aside to try again. All right, what have we got going on here? So let's do a little bit of interest here. What I'm going to do is grab myself a mark making stamp. Now let's see what I can find lying around here. Probably not a lot. I think that's probably the one organized thing I have. All right, let's go with, oh look, let's grab this Paper Artsy stamp out that I have here. Oops. All right, so I'll grab that one. So this stamp pack is the ESA 27. I love the Seth Apter mark making stamps. I'm going to use that one. I do have my favourites in there, so I won't be a second, guys. I'll just keep the boys. If you'd seen the look on my face just then, I just opened the door and gave them the look of, you're too loud. So what I'm going to do is, this is pretty messy. As you can see my fingerprints. So what I'm going to do is kind of blend these together. So I'm going to start, and let's see how we go. I'm just going to put a little bit over here. And I'm going to use my finger to flatten it out a bit. Trying to use as little, like I could put it on a blending tool, but I'm kind of trying to go less tools. So I'm dabbing my stamp into there. And I'm kind of extending that colour with the stamp. Create some interest. Oh, I've got some paint moving with me, but that's okay. Now, because I've used paint, I need to get that off straight away. Nice and easy if you do it quickly. And then I'm going to use that again. Oh, where did my brush go? Here. Bit of water. Not much water. A little bit of water, and let's use that neon colour to add some splatters. All right. Okay. Clean that up before I put my, probably should have put my apron on. I might actually do that quickly because I'm wearing my Raiders hoodie and I'm going to the Raiders tomorrow night, so I'll probably want it. And I'm not going to have time in Canberra weather to wash it before I go. So, all right. So that's kind of cool. I might, so they're both wet now. I'm going to dry this one while we're working on this one. And then I'm going to do some more stamping. All right, let's make sure that's not got a bit of perspiration there. All righty, now I'm going to go in with, I think I'm going to go with the purple. All right, I did have a little bit of the paint lift there, and it could be because I didn't have as much paint on there, so I've just done a bit more this time. All right. Now, this has writing on it, so I'm just going to make sure that, all right, and I'm extending that. Ooh, that's cool. I love that. I love this stamp. And a bit down there. And let's extend a bit up there. All right, cleaning that one off. That is super cool, that purple over the top of those other neon colors. All right, popping that aside now. You know what I'm going to do with this purple here? Of course you do. Splatters. A bit more water. Now, sometimes I do get a little bit creative, sidetracked doing what I'm doing and forget to look up and check if there were any questions or comments. All right, that is looking pretty good. So that's going to move aside now, and I'm going to work on the other one. Clean off some of this purple that I've splattered everywhere before I bring in this blue one. Now that's a little bit wet still, so I will just hit that quickly. Now that collage paper in the background there gives it actually a nice bit of texture there too. So, all right. So let's pull out a different stencil. What am I thinking with this one? Let's pull out I don't even know what my focal point's going to be on this one, but all right, let's pull out my visible image and funky fossil folder and see what I'm going to do. Oh, okay. All right, let's have a look. Addition, pixel fade. Oh, maybe I could use that. Not sure. Cosmic Amaze. Oh, you know what? Not sure if Nat's still got this one on the website. I probably should have checked that first, but we'll try that one. And then I might use this Starlight. No, Star Mask. Star Mask. Funky Fossil Star Mask. All right. So that's going to go across there at some stage. All right. So what am I wanting to do with this? So this one's quite fine. So what I'm going to do is get out a deeper blue, and I'm going to go with an ink. All right, I'm going to go with Blueprint Sketch here. I'm going for a deeper blue, and I'm going to get my new little Lavinia Stamp number 3 stencil brush. I love, love, love these brushes. I've got 2 of them. I think, what's the other size I've got? The 7. They are divine. And I've got Vicky's one too, which is quite big. But this is so good for fine stencils. So I'm going to stencil a bit. I'm just going to keep going until nothing else comes off my brush. All right, let's have a look. Oh, yeah, that's nice. All right, and then I'm going to go up from here too. Oh, that's very nice. I just looked at it on the screen. It looks totally different on the screen than it does in person. All right. So what I love about these stencil brushes is not only do they get really into that detail there and fine details, but they're so easy to clean. And I'll show you that shortly. Right. That looks pretty cool. I like that. I like that there's a rose right in the middle. All right, so let me just clean that off. I'm a stencil clean girl. So to clean these, I'll just move this out of the way. All you need to do is grab paper towel, and I'll try and do this on camera without wetting everything, and your spray bottle. Just spray it at the top, and then give it a nice little smush on the paper towel. And that is pretty much clean, if you can see that. There's barely any colour left on that. So I could give it another spray, but there's no way that's coming off there. So nice and easy to clean. So if you use lots of fine stencils, that's what you want in a stencil. All right, moving on. What is the other? Okay, I said I'd use that one. I want to use this one as well. And this one I'm actually going to go with. I'm looking for. Ooh, maybe I can go deep. Or maybe I can go, or I might go, okay, change my mind. I was going to go deep dark, but I'm going to go with Lost Shadow. These tones are screaming out for a grey. And just going to pop that up here. Checking that I've got that. Oh, you can nearly see it. Might not be dark enough. Okay, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to swap to my bigger brush because I'm not getting enough on there. Yeah, that's better. All right, then we'll move down here. You can barely see that one. That's okay. This is just, it's not there for anything particular. It's just a bit of interest. Okay. You can't, I'll just bring that up to camera, see if you can see that. Oh yeah, you can. It's only a shadow effect. Lost Shadow. That is perfect actually. All right. So again, clean my stencil, and then just to clean those brushes off, so easy. And that colour is going to be quite easy to clean off because it was quite light. Clean that one. Super duper easy. These will be coming with me to the retreat because I don't have to sit them in water for very long. Oh, I don't have to sit them in water. Oop, I nearly didn't bring that one anywhere. I nearly went over the back of the desk into no man's land. All right. What else am I going to do with this one? It needs, so I did bring those stars out. What else? So, all right, I'm going to go with something brave here. And, yep, I'm going to go with white. I'm going to go with white gesso. Or white gesso. I might have to go with white acrylic paint. Actually, I've got my white paint out. The reason I'm not going to go with gesso is if I put gesso over the top of those water reactive things, obviously it's going to make, it's going to react those colours and my white won't be quite so white. So I'm just using a makeup sponge here. And I'm getting this Cloud 9, which is a nice chalky white. Squish a bit over there. Right. Oh, thanks, Karen. I'm not sure which stencil you were talking about. Sorry, I got sidetracked again doing some creating. So I'm just going to dab in a tapping motion. Just make sure that, yep. Oh, I think it's the Amaze one, the fine one, yeah. So that's a Funky Fossil one, and it was designed by Nineka for her Cosmic Round. So it might still be on the website. I know there was some things on the website still. So I am covering up. Some people go, why do you do all that work and then cover it up? I am covering it up, but I'm not 100% covering up because I've used oxides in here. I can already see that those oxides are coming through there. I'm using dabbing motions because putting wet paint onto my oxides will move the ink if I swipe or use a blending tool to blend that on. And I'm actually after that effect underneath, so that's looking pretty good. I've just run out of paint. So I'm just going to keep going. And this star one is also from Funky Fossil. I'm sorry, I'm going to have to turn that. So I am covering some of it up. Yes, this is a Funky Fossil one star. It's another one that's Claire's designed, one of her releases, and it goes with the writing, the Shoot for the Stars writing one. They came out in the same release. All right. All right. So what that did by putting that white on is it dulled down some of those, but I've still got the brightness of the pattern through there. So that's pretty cool. Now, I'm going to quickly clean this off. Now, the thing with the paper artsy paints and warm weather is that it dries quite quickly. So a little trick is grab some hand sanitizer, and I might actually grab a new, pop it on there, and move it around. I'm just doing that while I'm trying to get out my baby wipe. Apparently my fingers aren't working today. All right, so just moving that around my stencil. Yeah, it loosens your paint up a bit. If you like to keep your stencils clean like me. So I'm sure everyone's got bucket loads of hand sanitizer. You know, we all stocked up in those times a few years ago. Oh, what's going on here? A bit of a boo-boo with the double up with the stencil. So these stencils can be quite they're quite fine, so you just got to be a little bit gentle with them when you're cleaning them. So that's why I like to use a bit of hand sanitizer just to help clean them a little. especially when our paint dries so quickly. And most of that is just wiping off. There's only a few bits where I haven't put that hand sanitizer that it's kind of just soaking. So there's a little tip for you. So not only are you cleaning your hands, you're cleaning your stencils. I've got I get dermatitis if I use hand sanitizer too much, and suddenly I've got sensitive skin since I fell pregnant with Blake, and I've got my nails done. As you can probably tell, I don't have my netball nails. And I tried it and I broke out in dermatitis again. So I'm seeing how I go, and whether I can hack it. But I've had these on for 2 weeks and they're only just starting to clear. So they may not happen again, but anyway. All right. I'm going to move this one aside and come back to this neon one because I'm about to get more messy with that one as well. So while I've got the mess happening, may as well keep it going. All right. So now I'm going to get some black gesso. Oh, and I keep forgetting that I've run out of black gesso and I've borrowed the kids' cheapo one. So I sometimes have problems with the cheapo one. But anyway, I'm just going to quickly dry that because some of those splatters are still a little bit wet. Right, that's better. That is so cool. I could almost just leave that like that. Anyway, I'm not going to because I'm going to use the loop-de-loop one. And I'm going to get this baby wipe should be okay still. All right, so hello, Miss Tegan. How are you? How was the Rocky Horror Show? How exciting. I'm doing a surprise live, Tegan. I wasn't sure if I was going to get home in time and get small fry to bed. Oh, it looked amazing. Very jealous. What a great Christmas present that husband of yours got you. Good job, Matt. Yes, so I've jumped on because I wasn't sure I was going to get home, so I didn't want to promise and then not deliver. So I thought I'd do a surprise. All right. Yes, I am covering everything I just did with gesso. Yes, some people are daunted by that, but that's okay. The first time I did it, I was daunted as well. It's very daunting covering up your beautiful work. All right, so this is the loopy loop, and all I'm going to do now is pop that on there, grab my baby wipe, and get rid of that gesso. Now, the reason that I can wipe this off nice and easily is because this is gesso that I'm wiping off. B, I put gesso underneath my neon colours, which gives it a bit of a protection. Now, when you are wiping off black gesso, be warned that it gets everywhere and you need to change your baby wipe regularly. And you want it still to be wet when you do this. You can do it dry, depending on what your surface is you're working on. Journals would take it better than these tags. They're not as thick. Definitely fine for mixed media, but if you put it on dry, you're going to be scrubbing a lot. So it may not give you the desired effect. You don't want your baby wipe too wet either, because otherwise that's going to wet. So now this is going to give a grungy effect because it's not going to be completely clean. All right, now I'm going to lift that off. Hoping I'm doing it gently because there's a lot of liquid on there between the paints, the gesso, yep. And sometimes it can lift a little bit of your paper, especially with the thinner papers. I'm not sure what GSM these tags are from Nat's tag pack, but it's definitely a thicker one, but it's not it's not 300 GSM by any means. It's probably, I'd say 200 at a guess. Fine for mixed media, but you definitely, it's not as thick as like the Vicky Bouton foundations paper or anything like that. So you want to be, you can definitely still use magicals and all that sort of thing on them. They're fine. You saw it a few times, the original Aussie rock show back in the 70s when our English teacher took us on an excursion. That's so cool, Susan. All right. I love that. That looks so cool. So I'm going to pop that aside. That's the exact effect I was after. I wanted the detail, the neon stamping, the splatters all to come through. So that's absolutely perfect. This one needs some more work. And as I said, black stuff everywhere. Black stuff everywhere. Okay. So what am I going to put on this one? Let's have a look. Let's get out. So I've got the grandpas. So let's get out one of the other ones. What have we got here? Oh my God. Oh, besides a mess. We've got the happy birthdays. I won't use those yet. So we've got the cool girls. What are they called? My Tribe. Cool girls. There's a couple of grandpas in there too. I do love those. I wanted probably... Oh, hang on. Oh, I think I might be gonna... Yeah, I love her. She's great. I want a taller one. I think I might go with... I might even go with this one down the bottom corner. All right, so I want to do some more here though. I'm not quite finished with this one. Excuse my sniffle. I only get a sniffle when I always get a sniffle when I get on camera. Absolutely crazy. All right, what am I going to add to this? This is not finished yet by any means. Ah, you know what? I am thinking, yep, I'm going to do it. This is going to make an absolute mess, but it has to be done. I'm using the Stella paste from Funky Fossil. And I'm going to go back. I've got to work out which way I had this before. I think it was back this way. Yep. So, ooh, have I got it? There we go. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to put some of this Stella paste. This Stella paste is beautiful. It is my way of using glitter. I don't like to use glitter, but I like the look of glitter. And this is a white version. So let's mix it. Let's do a bit of mixing. So let's keep with the same tones. I might bring this one back in. So what if I grab this? Nah, I'm not even going to, I'm not, you will not get me to pronounce that on camera. I'm not doing it. All right, I'm going to do with a drop. I hope you can, yep, that's on camera. Okay. And then I'm going to get a big scoop of this. Now I'm colouring it, so I'm going to have to use all of that. So I'm just going to go with what I pull out. And I'm going to mix that colour in. I haven't done this before. I have seen it done, But this is a way of making your own glitter paste. Or glitter, is it paste? Yeah, it's paste. All right, so I'm starting with a swap. I'm going this motion only, so I'm going to start up here. Ooh, oh, that's pretty. Now, this is a bit like a stencil butter, so you will have to clean it off straight away, or it will stick to your stencil. I think I'm going to be a bit happier with this now. I wasn't 100% happy, I have to admit, with the gesso. It didn't quite have the effect that I was after. That was pretty good guesstimation by me. Now grabbing some extra paper towel because I'm going to need to clean that stencil off immediately, and I have to clean it off my thing here immediately, just because otherwise it sticks like really thick. So pulling that off. Yeah, that's cool. I like that. And it's got the, I don't think, oh, you can see it a little bit. Pretty cool. I like that better. All right. And I'll do the same thing here. Just use a bit of my hand sanitizer. And I'll use this old paper towel. Try and wipe that off quickly. You could easily just pop that straight in water, but I don't have the luxury of having that because it's just one thing I always forget when I go and do a live is to get a bucket of water, mainly because it has to sit on the carpet. I used to do that when I was breastfeeding my eldest. I'd sit down every time and my husband's like, you forgot your drink, didn't you? Every time, without fail. So turn that over. Give it a clean with the baby wipe now. Just making sure I've got most of that glitter off. It will dry a little bit like texture paste. So once it's on there, you'll have glitter everywhere, but you don't really want it to stay on there. All right, let's go back to this baby, which I love. And here's our guy. And look how cool he looks on that background. So I love that. I'm just going to dry a little bit. There's a little bit of black gesso still wet there. And I just saw a bit of that. It's a bit, actually it's not like texture paste. It's a bit more like glue. All right, so what are we doing here? So I'm going to use a quote. I'm going to use this guy. What I'm going to do before I put him on there is because I hate fussy cutting. So as you can see, he's got a white line around the edge. And all I like to do is grab my archival ink and just help blend those edges. I don't mind that I don't get them all. I try and get them all. But it just helps kind of blend it in. Sometimes you can see it, sometimes you can't. And I don't have a lot of ink on my blending tool. I have the mini blending tool, which would be perfect for this, but I don't like to use, I've only got 2 sponges for it. I need to get some replacement sponges, but I don't like to use it for permanent ink. This is my one that I keep for permanent ink, so it's the stayer. Now there's one thing missing on here already, and that's white, so I need a bit of balance here, and I'm going to use I want a fine tip, so I'm going to go with my Life of Colour paint pen. Now, if you haven't used Life of Colour paint pens before, they are an acrylic paint pen, and you need to activate the paint inside. So there's a ball inside these little beauties. And when you hear it start going, you know that it's activated. Paint, push it down. And you can see this one. I've got a few on the go because they might be half dead. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to add... Now, the beauty of using paint pens over black gesso is that it's matte. Black gesso's matte. So your paint pens work really well on them. So if you can kind of go over right around the edge, but you want to go over the gesso. I need to get another one in a minute. So just see, that's already changed how that looks. Oh, thanks, Susan. All right. Who's doing some creating with me tonight? Is anyone doing something? If so, what are you doing? Share your projects that are you catching up on things? Are you finishing off a class that you did? I know a few of you have done a class with Nat today. So I assume Nat's probably having a gin by now, because I know she's been working today. So my lucky boys, I live in a household full of boys, if you haven't gathered that, and they are rugby league obsessed. The older boy, Thomas, has been playing for, I think it's 8 years. Might be 8 years. So since he was 5, plus the little program before that. So he's 8 years. Hubby's, Raiders obsessed. And the little one has FOMO, so he loves whatever the big boy loves. And he's about to start his footy as well. So he's just started training with his little team, which he thinks is just great. And today, the boys' team got invited, well, Thomas's team got invited out to watch the captain's run for the Raiders. So if you don't know what that is, a few people have said, what is a captain's run? The captain's run is the last training session. It's a bit of a fun training session for the NRL teams before their game. They obviously don't want them to play too hard because they need them to be good for the next day. So we got to go out to GIO Stadium and watch them run some drills and do some bombs, do some practice stuff, which was super cool. And then they said, oh, you guys can come onto the field and come get some signatures. So my boys were in heaven. And we got some photos. Blake's took his jumper off and got his little jersey signed. Thomas's hat's all signed. Blake's footy's signed. And then we went over to Ricky Stewart and he's like, yeah, boys, get in for a photo, and signed stuff as well. So that was really nice to see. All right, look how good that looks just by adding that white. And before I pop him on, this one's nearly finished, by the way. I'm not going to do too much more with that one. I'm loving it. But what I'm going to do is grab a bit of that white paint, make a little wash, and get some splatters on there before I put him on. Yeah, so the boys actually had an absolute blast, and I have to say I did too, because the little one doesn't go really. He gets a bit shy sometimes. Crazy, because he's really doesn't seem like a shy kid, but he got a little bit shy, so I had to take him out onto the field. And yeah, the Raiders were really lovely with them. I'm not sure they knew who they were, but a couple of them said, "Where are you boys from?" We're like, "We're from Canberra, the other side of town." So yeah, that was nice. They got to meet and one of the new young 18-year-olds is debuting tomorrow. So he got his first little fan group of, teenage boys to go and see him. Oh, thanks, Karen. No creating, you're just watching. Yes, it was very cool, and it was very excited. Yeah, the pictures are great. So yeah. All right. So let's I'll just hit that with the heat gun. I might even hit the other one with the heat gun a bit too. All right. That's not dry yet. I'm just going to pop that aside a little bit. Let that have a good dry. And let's finish this one off. Right, where's my man gone? Here he is. All right, let's get our groovy grandpa stuck on there. And so he needs to be grounded, but so I'm not going to put him, I'm going to put him with his running, like slightly crooked, so that he's actually standing on his running foot, if you know what I mean. Like I could put him like that, but then he's not actually standing on his foot. So if I put him like this, oh, did that dry? Bugger. Sorry, I'm going to have to dry that a bit more. Okay. I didn't swear then. I was very proud of myself. All right. So I'm going to pop that there. And I haven't got him quite at the bottom of the thing, but that's okay, because I'm going to add a bit of a shadow under him. And around him. All right, now let's get our quotes, something I've prepared earlier. And I'm wanting a white quote. So let's have a look. What have I got here? I don't want a big long one. Oh, this one sounds good. These are pretty perfect for, I don't know. My grandma got very non-caring about if she hurt people's feelings as she got towards the end of her, the older she got. So this one, I wish I could invoice people for wasting my time. So these quotes that Nat's done are pretty accurate with the way that my grandma used to, not, her care factor about offending people was very low after a certain number of years on this in her life. So which I laugh about it now, but sometimes it was a little bit embarrassing. Good old grandma. All right. It is very nat. It's very nat indeed. All right, so now I'm just going to get my Stabilo pencil. So I'm creating this little tag book if you missed the beginning. And these are going to go on here. So first I'm creating some tags, and then I'm going to do, like, make it into a book. So now, just doing under his arm. And then activating that. I'm actually really liking those neons. Who would have thought I'd use so much neon? They are quite cool. Now, I want a bit of a shadow around him, but that wasn't enough. That's a bit better. I need him to stand out from the background, so I definitely need a good shadow under him. Right. That's better. All right. And then I'm just going to finish that one off by using a black pen. Black pen. Around my little quote there. All right, so there is that. Now, I have just had an idea for my ATCs using neons. I'm thinking I might make a big messy page and cut it up into houses for my ATCs. So there's that one. I absolutely love that background. It is exactly what I had pictured in my mind, and it turned out exactly the way I pictured it, which never happens, by the way. So that's cool. All right, let's finish this one off. Yeah, it definitely needs the black for me too, Karen. Like, it's a good mix. So yes, I'm with you on the black. Now this is, yeah, that's pretty dry to touch. So let me get my granny. So I absolutely love these people, the party nanas this is. So yeah, I'm going to go the red one. I think I might even go that quote too, still rocking it. If that will, might not fit. No, maybe not. I'll go a smaller quote. All right, so my mother-in-law said the exact same thing to me. She saw it in the 70s and the teacher took her. Oh, you finished your ATCs today, Susan. I'm very jealous, Tegan. It looked amazing. I went to go and see it when we went to London when Thomas was a baby, and Craig McLaughlin, who was the main guy, was actually like on a break, and his understudy was in. So we decided not to because we really wanted to see Craig McLaughlin. Mind you, I didn't miss out because I saw like 5 stage shows in London, so I definitely didn't miss out. But yeah, I've still not seen a Rocky Horror Picture Show. So there you go. Are you back in Canberra now, Tegan? Did you just do a one-nighter? Tegan, you also have a delivery on your desk at work, my friend. Your ATCs are sitting on your chair at work. So for those of you who don't know, Tegan and I actually work together. Well, not together, in the same building. So I often bring Tegan's ATCs into work to hand back to her. And because these days we work from home a bit, it's often her leaving ATCs on my desk or chair and me leaving them on her desk or chair. Yeah, I did 5 shows in 5 days in London, Susan. We Will Rock You was my favourite. So I don't think that will ever change. But yeah, I did see the Michael Jackson tribute show there too. I think I saw Dirty Dancing. What else? I saw Grease, which wasn't actually fussed on Grease. I've seen a better Grease in Australia. There was one more. Can't remember the other one. So you'll notice that these 2 ATCs that these 2 tags that I've done, I've used the opposite colours. So these have the cool colours she's mostly the warm colours I've picked for her. And vice versa for the other one. So you can't, that's not a rule at all. Ooh, that sounds cool, Susan. Actually, I'm going to see Billy Elliot in Queanbeyan next on the 1st of May. So that should be cool. Yeah, so that's not a rule that you have to do warm colours, but if you're still learning your colours and you're not sure what colours go with what, to make it stand out, this one's perfect too. Some things are best said with an eye roll. Oh, good. I hope so. Yeah, to make things go well together, you can first start by doing your cool colours in your background and your focal points as your warm colours, and you'll find that you won't go wrong with that. So if you're still learning your colours, you don't have to be learning either. That's definitely not a learner's thing. I do it often. But if you're just still unsure about colours, it is an easy way to start. So I'm using my Art by Marlene glue. It's this glue is my go-to glue for anything craft related, sticking cuttables on, which I use a lot of cuttables. I was actually just thinking, oh man, I need a few different cuttables that I haven't already used, and then that brings out cuttables. It's like she heard me. Just have to hold it there for a few seconds and it is good to go. So I still have a bit to do to this background, not a heap, just a little bit, because what I need to do is bring a bit of that balance. At the moment we've got blue and my focal points, so I need to bring in a bit of black and a bit of white as well. How I'm going to do that is yet to be decided. actually. The black is going to be brought in by my shadow around Granny. I just realised she's got that hand signal. So I'm also going to do a border with the black, and I'm going to line these with black, and I'm putting a shadow around Granny. The white, I might do some mark making with my paint pen. So I might even use my Art by Marlene, my new Art by Marlene pens. So, all right, so I'm going with this Stabilo around Granny, and I am going some of that gel is that Starlight paste. Some of it is still a little bit soft, but that's okay. Give her a bit under there. All right, and activate that to give her a shadow behind her. That Stabilo works really well on that Starlight paste, actually. And then just that little bit in there. And in there. All right, so there she's got a shadow. I'm going to grab my new Art by Marlene pens. So the Duo acrylic markers are great. Actually, I'll use this for both things. So I'll start with the black. So they've got a brush tip. They're a brush tip. And they will go over that quite well. So I'm doing a bit of a double line because these are quite thick, but I don't have much black on my page. So bringing that down and across. And then to bring the white back in, I do have a little bit of a white around my stars still because I didn't quite line that texture, that Starlight paste up perfectly, but that's fine. There is a bit of white in there, but I'm going to add some marks with this. And these brush tip pens, and you'll find the Life of Colour ones that have the brush tip as well, are super easy to use to just make some simple marks. So all I do is push down, and it almost makes like a teardrop mark. And these come out really super duper like pigmented. If like you can see them, they're definitely not got now I'm just going to turn this upside down so I don't smudge it. Oh, I have to do the pen upside down because otherwise my things are going to be the wrong way. So a nice easy way to add some, and I'm going straight over that texture paste as well, which is cool. So I'm adding some balance by adding the white. So the other thing I might do is I'm just going to add a bit of white to a couple of these stars. I don't want to do all of them. What I love about these is that you don't have to activate them. The activating is fine for some things, but the fact that you don't have to activate black and white pens, and I know the coloured ones have gone out of stock, but Nat's definitely getting more in. So I have no doubt that Tammy will be probably using them as well. So I'm just doing a little bit over here. And the more I do, the more I want to do. So knowing when to stop is good. But I am kind of liking it, so I might keep going. And I might just go up here a little. All right, I might leave it at that. And there we have it. So there is our 2 super duper cool tags to go with my stash of other tags that I've got to make my little book here. So there's that stamp again that I used with the purple, and that was from the Paper Artsy Seth Apter set, which I can't pick up right now without dropping everything on the floor. The ESA27. That is a super cool pack. There's lots of stamps in there I am using. So thanks for watching, and thanks for joining me on this sporadical live. I hope you enjoy the rest of your weekend. Oh, thanks, Karen. Thanks, Heather. Thanks, Susan. Thanks for watching, and I'll take some photos and pop a couple of these up on the Facebook group, and eventually I will make them into the booklet and show you. So thanks for watching, and enjoy the rest of your weekend. Bye, ladies.